Here's how you're going to export a pattern to be printing for Ben. What we're going to do is make an artboard, fake artboard in our 2D window using the rectangle tool. The max artboard size we can do is 56 inches wide by 72 high. You may not need that all, but that is the maximum we can have. So that's what I'm going to make. I'm going to order send to back so that it's behind all of our pattern pieces. And then I'm going to lock it so that it won't move when I'm moving things around. I want to make sure that my patterns have seam allowance. So just a reminder, you can use this seam allowance tool to add seam allowance to your pieces. And what we want to be doing is using up the full amount of this space and not creating a lot of waste of paper. We also only need half of this pattern because it's going to be symmetric. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut and sew these front pattern pieces. And I'm only going to print half of this pattern. So this is on the fold, so this is not going to get a seam allowance. I'm going to bring all of my pattern pieces down as close as I can to the bottom, making sure they don't overlap, and trying to make the most use of the space. From here, we're going to export as a PDF. I'm going to save it on my desktop as print one. Make sure you have your name. We want to uncheck a bunch of things because we don't need a lot of information. We're going to make sure pattern outlines and seam allowance are clicked. If you need your internal lines, you can turn them on, but most of the time turn them off. And then you probably need your pattern name, so keep that checked, and grain line. So now I'm going to find where I just saved that. Documents, where is it? Print one. You'll see that it is a bigger file than you think. It saved my whole window, basically. It saved all of this. So, zoom extends all. So we need to delete a lot of this information. Now this is exactly the size of the print window that I want. So I'm going to hit Shift O and click in that, and it will make an artboard that is exactly that size. I can delete this then, and that is my exact artboard size. I'm going to delete everything outside of that because we don't need all this extra information. Same thing with this. And if you hit Command Y, you can see all of these little clipping masks, which we don't need. So what you can do is just hover over these clipping masks and hit delete twice, and it will delete them. You don't want any of those extra squares because that'll get printed and is annoying. I'm just personally going to delete these so that we don't have that weird little cross section that I had mentioned. So you can still go in here and also adjust the placement. You can bring these down. Just try to maximize your space. And if you want to, you can make this as short as you want and just send this file to Ben like this. Just double check everything, save it as a PDF or as an Illustrator file and email it over to Ben. His instructions are here. I just sent these in an email. Again, the max width is 56, the max length is 72. If your pattern is longer than that, you may need to make multiple artboards. Always try to make sure pattern pieces are close together. Don't try to waste any paper. Make sure you delete all the clipping masks. And if you do all of that, you should be good to go.